What's up, guys? So we're back on the budget turbo build, and if you watched the last video, you'll notice that I have removed a couple things, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So I've removed everything in the front end and on both sides, the hot and cold side, because I need to button a few things up and also make a couple adjustments. So I have the wastegate here all, in the final assembly and in the position I wanted, so that's all tightened up. But I needed to change the spring in here, so I'll insert a clip right now. So pretty much came with a 14-pound spring, and that's a little too much for a stock completely unopened, no head stud, whatever, pump gas motor. So I've gone down to a 7-pound spring, and that's just what we're going to start off with. Just leave it at 7 pounds and see how it holds up and what we make, and then go from there. I've also reclocked the turbo. So before it was kind of sitting more vertical, this center section. So I've clocked it left a bit. And the reason is not for the turbo feed, because the feed is in a perfect location. Now it's a little wonky. But the turbo drain, there was actually no way I could fit a -10 fitting. So I've clocked it at an angle now. So if you can see, I have the one end of the -10 fitting, and this is pretty much the only orientation I'll fit. I originally tried when it was in the vertical position, the center section, I tried to make it go down in between here, but there's just not enough space. So now it's going through here, and then we'll get it down to the pan, which I'll show later. But yeah, so right now what I'm working on actually is the other side of the turbo feed. So we're getting the feed and the drain kind of out of the way before we finally start the car and go through that final checklist. So the turbo, this is the Rally Road kit. It comes with this turbo feed line, and then it adapts to, you probably can't see it down there, but right here there's the other side of this Vanos oil feed line, and here's the Rally Road fitting. So essentially the banjo fitting down there is like this one, so it's just a flat cap, and then the banjo line goes in. So this Rally Road one actually still utilizes the factory line on that side, but it adds a I think it's -3 fitting on the end, and then that's where this other end of this line goes, and then that will supply oil to the turbo. All right, pop the Vanos line off. If you can see down here, just slid a 19 wrench through this gap behind it, and then loosen the bolt. So here is the banjo bolt. So like I said, it's pretty much the exact same. It's got the 2 washers, obviously, that go on both sides of the banjo bolt, and then this -3. Okay, that's the oil feed complete. I hate how high that cable sits. I might just zip tie it here or something. It looks kind of stupid. But yeah, so that's done. And let me get the flash on here. There's the back of the banjo line, the oil feed, and then we also have that adapter there with the new copper washers sandwiching the banjo bolt. So pretty annoying to kind of get wrenches in and get this in, but it's manageable. Don't have to remove the intake manifold or anything like that, but if you have it off anyways for an M50 upgrade or whatever, make sure to do this job while you've got that off, because that will make it a lot easier. So the standard way to do an oil drain on M50, M52s, whatever, is either in the front timing cover on the side, or actually let me show you on my spare engine here. So the best place to put it is probably up here on the side of the timing cover, and the second best place is either I think up here or over here or wherever, kind of above the oil line. But we're gonna do something different just because I've seen kind of mixed opinions on it, and I've heard people that do this have had no issues. I've also heard some people say you will have issues, but I figure this is an easy way of doing things, and since this is a stock kind of unopened, untouched engine, I want to keep going that route, and we're going to put the oil return in the oil drain bolt. So I've got a bunch of dash 10 fittings in line to make that oil return, but I've also got this. So this is the same thread pitch as the oil drain bolt. This dash 10 kind of adapter thing in, and then from there we're just going to go up through all this and then up to here. We'll make a line that kind of does that, and of course gonna be wrapping that line in this heat sleeving, because if you look at this, it's extremely close to the turbo, the wastegate, and then also comes near the manifold. So make sure you use heat sleeving on things that might catch on fire, like an oil return line that is very close to a bunch of hot stuff. Should be interesting to see how it turns out. Theory, it should work. I mean, the level of oil in the line will never exceed the volume in the pan, so I guess it should work. Some people say it'll back up and cause the turbo to smoke, but if that happens, I'll weld the fitting in the pan or the timing current or whatever, no problem. Just curious to see if this setup will work or not. Kind of saves time, and if people are looking for a budget way to do this, I guess this is a good option as well. All right, took the turbo off and made the first part of this AN line. So it's just the 45 that comes off the bottom here, and I also put the heat sleeving on it. And now we're going to mock this up on the car and then measure how long we need before we make that second cut for the bottom side of the return. I'm not sure if I want to do the 90 or 45, so I'm gonna try both quickly and see which one works better, and then we're gonna mark the cut line with a piece of tape and start screwing on this fitting here. And I've put the 45 because it seems like it's the smoothest drain angle, and it looks like we're right on the edge, so I'm gonna mark it a little long, probably around here, and then we'll start building this line, the other end of this. Alright, that's on there. Now we're gonna bring this to the vise, and I'm gonna crank this all the way down into this fitting. The line is made, finished on both ends, 245s, and heat sleeving all the way down, or pretty much all the way. Hopefully it does its job and nothing catches fire or burns, because the clearance on these manifolds and where the wastegate is super tight, if you saw the last clip. So yeah, throw this in, and then we'll move on to reassembling everything else in the front here, so rad, and put the intercooler on, the piping, all that stuff. I'm still waiting for my HPX MAF, whatever it's called. So can't really do much with that, but I am just gonna throw the stock MAF back in just to start it up and see what we're missing. Okay, so throwing all the parts back on the car, and while I was kind of wrapping up some of the intercooler piping, I realized I can route this side a different way, so I'll just show you here. So I was angling, originally I was gonna go, if you remember from the last video, if you saw the last video, I was gonna go underneath and then around to here, but I now realize I can go, so here's the coupler, right? Let me try to focus this here. So I'm gonna go from here, 90 through here, and then down to here, and then this is full lock, so there's plenty of clearance, and tires shouldn't be anywhere near here anyways. So we're gonna do that. And while I was thinking about that, I realized I still need to gut the headlight. So if you're wondering how that intake, so there's no nose panel here, which is why it looks a little funky, but everything does line up. So if you were wondering how the intake was gonna work with the headlight. It's actually I ended up gutting the inside. So if you can see in here, it's a little dirty, but ended up gutting everything behind here, just chopping it all out, all the pieces. So this is, it's not a glass headlight or anything. This is literally just a factory whatever 3 series plastic headlight that we get in North America. So yeah, just gutted the inside, and then that's how the intake is going to route. Ignore the bundle of headlight wiring and nonsense there. But yeah, gonna keep throwing these parts on, and don't think I'll have time to finish the intercooler piping today, but I'm gonna just tack weld it and then put it in place. I think the like welding and prepping stuff is pretty boring to watch. I'm literally just doing the same step over and over again. You know, cut, clean, weld, whatever, it's the same thing. So instead of having a repetitive clip over and over again, I'm gonna finish cutting up and mocking up the intercooler piping, just tack weld it together. Probably won't weld it together for this video, but I want to just throw it together, and I want to just put it all on the car, make sure it all fits, and then should be good to just put oil in it and start it up. Forgot I never showed this, but put the downpipe in, and I welded the bung for the wideband. So it's not connected yet, but I did make sure to put the wideband in. I think I still need to put the factory primary O2s. I'm not entirely sure if you still need it with stock ECU tuning, but I'll double check that with the tuner, and then I'll put those in as well. Kind of hard to see, but we have the pipe coming through there for that side, and just buttoning up this side right now. Just gonna attach that last piece down there. Okay, app's connected, we're good to go. Hooked up the battery, hopefully it's got enough juice to crank this thing over. So far we have no leaks. I'm just sitting here, so I assume coolant's probably gonna come out of all the hoses because I didn't completely drain the block, but we'll see. Okay, so quick walk around. Everything looks pretty good. No oil leaks on this side, no oil leaks down there. Nothing down here, ignore that, that's just all old stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna fire it up one more time. Just do one more visual inspection outside of the car. And yeah, that should be good for the first start. Mission success, I'd say. Quick peek around the engine bay and make sure I'm not missing anything that I can't see from inside the car or isn't visible on this video. So all right, let's do it. One more start and I'll be happy for the day. Turbo's kind of slowing down. Yeah, lots to do there. Everything looks good. All right, here it is. So pretty much getting down to assembling everything. Yeah, so everything seems pretty good so far. All we really have left to do is the injectors, fuel pump, that math, and then probably make a heat shield for that, because the downpipe is getting pretty hot already. All right, so I guess that's it for this one. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Let me know if you want to see something specific. As always, any tips, leave them in the comments. So yeah, that's it.